Energy, and then the other one is from PSFU. And the conversation this morning is going to be strictly about energy efficiency, catalyzing energy efficiency markets in Uganda. And on my just extreme left is Engineer Birimomaso David. Engineer Birimomaso, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. My name is Engineer Birimomaso David. I work with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. I'm a Principal Energy Officer for Energy Efficiency and Conservation and Acting Assistant Commissioner in the Energy Resources Department. Good morning, Uganda.
Oh, thank you so much for that introduction. Then there is also Daniel Kiseka from the Private Sector Development. He's a Private Sector Development expert and a project coordinator. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, our listeners. My name is Daniel Kiseka. I work with the Private Sector Foundation Uganda, specifically on the Inclusive Markets for Energy Efficiency project, which is a consortia between SNV, Makerere University, and ourselves as Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Happy to be here this morning.
Thank you very much also for that.
Of the green transport transition.
The conversation is strictly energy efficiency. And now this goes to you, Engineer Birimomaso. Yes. What is, for starters, what is energy efficiency?
Yes, energy efficiency, those are two keywords. The first one is energy, and the second one is efficiency. In many publications, we've read about efficiency, and I've heard many people talk about efficiency in service delivery. But when we talk about energy efficiency, we talk about producing more with less energy. In other words, we are talking about increasing the value at a lower energy input. So energy efficiency is usually related to input and output. You want to get more output from 1 unit of energy. So every time you increase output, be it in production, be it in service delivery, it means when you use 1 unit of energy to produce more, you are increasing your competitiveness. So to us, energy efficiency is a very important aspect when we are talking about energy access, when we are talking about energy security, when we are talking about environment, because every time you increase the efficiency of energy utilization, it means you are extracting very little resources. Anytime you extract very little resources, you are saving the environment. Take an example of cooking. Most of us cook using firewood or charcoal. So every time you consume more charcoal to cook 1 meal, it means you are inefficient. So our objective is that we want you to use less energy input to cook that 1 meal you want to cook. Now, energy efficiency in most cases is associated with the intensity of energy utilization. And we want to reduce on the energy intensity at every one moment. Therefore, if your energy intensity, in other words, the energy input for every economic output, if the energy input for every economic output, for every dollar you are earning is more, it means you are inefficient. So our objective is that we should produce and achieve more economic output with the less energy as we can. Thank you.
Okay. And now for Mr. Kiseka there, we talked about you see power is very expensive of late. The bills are getting up, and then also when I did some bit of reading, I found out that 30 to 40% of energy we use is wasted. You get it? So why should even Ugandans care, first of all, about energy efficiency?
Thank you very much, Brian. I think Ugandans need to care about energy efficiency because if you're not efficient, then you're going to be hit in your pocket. The cost of production is going to go high if you're an industry. And ultimately, with that disruption in your capital flows, you're not going to be able to grow as a country, but also as a business enterprise. So it is important, if for any reason, to be efficient so that your cost of operations are kept in cap and you do not necessarily have to pay for what you shouldn't pay in the first place.
Okay. Engineer Vili Mumaso, I would also ask you the same question. Why would Ugandans really care about the energy efficiency? Because at the end of the day, it is them consuming the energy and it is still them paying the bills.
Well, that is very interesting. Some people don't care about the efficiency at which they utilize energy because they can pay. And that is very detrimental because every extra unit of energy you're consuming, you are depriving someone else from using that energy. Because we do not have a lot of energy. We cannot recreate energy. So energy is a continuous cycle. Every time you consume more than you should have consumed, it means you are going to avoid or prevent some other people from getting the energy. And in Uganda, we are talking about rational utilization of energy. We are talking about energy for everyone. Our rural electrification programs, for example, are there to ensure that every Ugandan gets access. Now, every time you are efficient, every time you save on any unit of energy, you are relieving that unit to be accessed by another Ugandan. And that is a very important point for us. Number two, we are all consumers of products produced by other people. We are consumers of services which are delivered by other people. If we take an example of transport, every time a transporter delivers the transport service to you at a lower cost, it means a reduction in the expenditure you are going to pay for. Every time the service goes high, the cost of delivering that service goes high, even the cost they are going to ask you is going to be a little bit higher. Therefore, that means we all should be caring about being efficient because it actually affects every one of us. It affects the environment, it affects other people who would have access to the energy services, but they can't because we are inefficient, and they affect the national security in terms of the energy resources available for the future.
Okay, now let's get into the reality. We are talking about wasting energy. Where is most of the energy wasted?
Now, energy is wasted in many ways. We used to light our houses using incandescent bulb. That bulb which would glow just because the filament is hot. And that bulb was very cheap. I think it used to cost 1,000 to buy that bulb. Now, in lighting, we want to reduce on the amount of energy that is used to produce that light. So lighting is one of the areas where we can waste energy. Another area, in cooking, you have seen most of us using the 3-stone fire, open fire, where you put firewood and the fire is lit in an open area. That is another way of wasting energy. And today there are many improved cooking technologies which can save us. So cooking is another area where we are prone to wasting energy. Industrial processes, the use of inefficient equipment, outdated technologies is another area where we have wasted energy, and I think you have mentioned that we are losing almost 30 to 60% of our energy, and most of that energy is lost as heat. It is lost as an unused service. Another area where we are wasting energy is in transport. We are driving inefficient vehicles, and they consume a lot of fuel. And on top of that, especially in transport, the fuel we use is imported, so we are living at the mercy of the external supply of that energy. So there are many ways we are wasting energy. Sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware, but we need to handle those processes. Some of us have tried to be innovative, and when we see our bill going high, that's when we think about being efficient or looking for an alternative. But we need to think further and expand that further, and think about national security, think about other consumers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Kiseka, for you, this is now the gist of the conversation, catalyzing the market. This is the core, and how are we making it actually happen, not just mere talk?
Okay. Brian, thank you so much for that question. And I want to tell our listeners, audience viewing us at the moment, that we have the Inclusive Markets for Energy Efficiency in Uganda project. This is a project which is a consortia between SNV, Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and then Makerere University, specifically the College of Engineering Department and Technology. Through this consortium, the Embassy of Sweden provided resources of up to 150 million koronas. That is equivalent of about 35 billion shillings.
Okay.
And in this funding, we are looking at intervening in the energy efficiency sector. How are we doing that? The model of delivery is that we are looking at, through the Market Development Fund, we are looking at supporting business institutions, social institutions, households, and also to improve on the research. The design of the email project is through what we call a triple helix model, which includes research and academia. It also includes business, and it also, on the other hand, third pillar is government of Uganda.
Okay.
And specifically there we have the Ministry of Energy taking the lead. And this allows us now to have a consolidated front on providing this level of support. Through the Market Development Fund, we are targeting companies through a catalytic grant,
Okay.
but also a result-based financing grant. With the result-based financing grant, we are encouraging energy service provider companies to be able to take to the last mile on those improved technologies. My colleague, Engineer Biri Maso, had already mentioned that, for instance, when you look at cooking or lighting in that sense, there are technologies that have been improved to consume less energy but provide even a better output for that. So for the last mile and using the energy service provider companies, we provide an incentive for them to be able to provide these technologies at a very much subsidized price, where we will provide then a grant under the result-based financing category. Through the catalytic grant, we are targeting households,
Okay.
but also social institutions, where we are talking about schools, universities, medical facilities, and these are high consumers.
Okay.
For some schools, they have to do truckloads of firewood, for instance, and you can imagine what that does to a forest in this country. But we've seen through the intervention through email 1, but now even now under email 2, that we've supported institutions to have better technology in terms of their kitchen setups and cooking. where we've come in to provide grants that allow them to use solar, but also improved cooking technologies to reduce the cost and also the use of charcoal and firewood. So here we are providing catalytic grants. Maybe I need to put this in context because as a project, we are in 9 sub-regions in Uganda, specifically focusing on the sub-region of Nkole. We are looking at Busoga, Bunyoro, Teso, Bugisu, Lango, Lira, and Buganda. And within there, we are focusing on 36 districts where we are providing this support under both the micro market development fund.
Okay.
But beyond that, we know that sometimes when it comes to energy efficiency, information is key. So we are looking at behavioral change communication.
The approach.
As PSFU, to amplify the voice in terms of how can we save energy.
Yes.
Beyond the money that comes in, because yes, there's a cost to using improved technologies to get better energy efficient levels, but also how we behave. And I think engineer mentioned this before. We notice in our intervention that companies, maize millers, there was one specific company in Mbale, which had to pay a monthly electric bill of about 4.5 million.
Okay.
And that is behavioral because they were producing on the peak hours. By shifting the production to the night, they were able to cut that bill to just $1 million, saving 3.5 million. We've noticed that in our institutions, in our offices as we work, people will leave the lights on throughout the day and night, even when they are not in offices, or even water. You leave the tap running in the washroom, and as a result, by the time you come back in the morning, you can imagine what is happening on the meter.
Yes.
This is behavioral. So by communicating and reminding ourselves about the fact that we need to switch the lights off, we need to turn the water off, we make substantial savings. But we know that the human mind is made in such a way that sometimes we forget. And as a result, technologies now are allowing us to do that. There are taps that will sense when you come to the washroom and you're trying to wash your hands, that they will sense that you need to do that. And the moment you're done, it cuts out. So it saves you from having to remember that. But even the lights, there are lights that will turn themselves on when you come into the room and off when you're out. That level of technology that allows to complement the human mind on when to switch off and when not to switch off should be able to support our agenda of inclusive energy efficiency in the country. And as a project, we are blessed by this funding from the Embassy of Sweden to, in a way, make a contribution to energy efficiency in the country.
Wow, thank you for that submission. Now, David, why is government coming up right now with the act, you know, and how is government going to make this possible?
Well, for a very long time, we have relied on voluntary measures, voluntary initiatives to improve on the energy efficiency in the utilization of energy. An example is when we brought a project to replace incandescent bulbs. We first preached the gospel of fluorescent lighting, and then later we moved to LED. During that campaign, we would give out one bulb for every household as an example. And when people believed that it was possible to reduce on the electricity bill by just replacing lights, many of us went to the market and bought LED bulbs and replaced all the incandescent bulbs. Those were voluntary initiatives. Of course, industries have also embraced voluntary initiatives when it comes to reducing the energy bill in their operations. But these are not enough, because we want everybody to come to action. Just a few who care about the environment, who care about the community, have been able to come up with the initiatives. When it comes to importers, it's worse. You go and import and you want maximum profits out of every container you are importing. And most of the low-cost products are not energy efficient. So we are saying we want to make this a statutory mandate, a statutory responsibility for everyone. So coming up with the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act is introducing mandatory measures for ensuring that we continue to be efficient. We are introducing minimum energy performance standards, such that every product which comes on Ugandan market is conforming to a certain level of efficiency in terms of energy consumption. Whether it is an electric cooker, whether it is an air conditioner, whether it is a vehicle, we want these products to conform to a certain level of energy performance. Coming up with the Energy Efficiency Act is coming also with the targets. For example, we want buildings to be efficient. We want transport equipment like vehicles to be efficient. We want industries to continuously set targets for reducing the energy intensity. Because if it becomes cheaper to produce a kilogram of sugar, we are sure we will be able to afford the sugar. If it becomes evident that we can produce steel at a lower cost, the steel products for construction will also be lower. The cost of cement will go down. So we know efficiency brings competitiveness, but we want it to be a statutory mandate such that everyone is covered. If we want to protect the environment, it cannot just be an action of one individual. We want it to be a responsibility of every Ugandan, a responsibility of whoever is concerned when it comes to consuming energy, and everyone, every Uganda is concerned. We get most of our transport energy from outside, the fuels we import. Now, if we are inefficient, it means we are not going to save any money. All our money is going to go into Forex. That's why in transport we are even promoting electric vehicles, electric mobility. I think you have seen some of these on our Ugandan roads. The ministry is also supporting a number of initiatives when it comes to electric vehicles, like setting up charging infrastructure for electric vehicles. That is one example of consuming energy efficiently, because we know that electric vehicle convert most of the energy they get into transport services, into mobility service. As compared to our normal fossil fuel vehicles, where most of the energy is lost as heat. I know every time you park your car and you touch the bonnet, you can feel the heat. Some of these bonnets are not even touchable. So introducing the Energy Efficiency Act is introducing mandatory obligations for every Ugandan to ensure that we are efficient the way we consume energy, we are saving the environment, and we are relieving energy for every Ugandan. We are rational.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Kiseka, talk about the Market Development Fund. This phase 2, what does it really entail?
Thank you, Brian. Brian, under the Market Development Fund, first of all, I want our viewers to know that We specifically are looking at specific value chains.
Okay.
These include, among others, the coffee value chain,
Okay.
dairy,
Okay.
horticulture.
Okay.
We are looking at maize. We are looking at oil seeds, sunflower and soybeans.
Coffee.
Oil seeds.
Okay.
Those are the value chains that we are looking at. And in terms of businesses, we are looking at production, processing, distribution, marketing, all encompassed therein.
Okay.
So, for the Market Development Fund, those businesses that are formal, registered, qualify to be supported on introducing energy efficiency related technologies in their operational setups.
Okay.
Where the project provides a grant. So there is always a call for proposal for companies to be able to submit that.
Okay.
That is under the catalytic grant, where they get a grant for that. But also under the Market Development Fund, we have the energy service provider companies.
Okay.
Now, these are companies that help to distribute energy efficient related technologies. They could be trading solar panels, they could be electric cooking, energy pressure cookers. They could be improved cigarettes, because there's a difference between some of these cigarettes. There are those that require less to be able to do the job. So for those involved in the distribution to the last mile, we are then providing a grant to encourage that distribution. First of all, I want our viewers to understand that as a project, just like any other project, we have targets. So in the 3 years that we will be implementing this Email 2 project, we are looking at reaching out to 55,000 households. We are also looking at reaching to 150 businesses, industry related, but also the social institutions that I talked about, the schools, the hospitals, the universities, and those ones we have a target of about 127. Why do we have these targets? Because we know that probably in terms of resources available, we do not have that much, but we want to make good on what we have. And that is why we give ourselves these targets, to be able to support and then be able to look at the end of the day, when you look at the baseline where we started from to what we've done under the 3 years, and say that, okay, yes, we reached the 55 households. Ultimately, by targeting the 55 households, we are saying that within the 36 districts where we are working as a project, that we need to see that these technologies are getting to the households. And through the energy service provider companies, who then we support with this result-based financing. So it depends on how many companies, for instance, or how many households you reach out to as an energy service provider company. And based on those numbers, you're then able to get a grant for the work that you would have done. For the catalytic grant, it's directly to the business institutions or social institutions. And this depends on looking at the systems. Engineer talked about some of the issues in relation to energy efficiency, that you may have obsolete technologies that cost your energy levels to be at a higher cost. So in this situation under the Market Development Fund, once we've assessed your eligibility in terms of meeting the needs for the project, and once we identify that there are technologies that are obsolete that you need to replace with a better, more efficient technology, then we are able to provide a matching grant to allow you acquire that better technology, in the hope that then you're better to have, you're in a more position to have efficient levels of production.
Engineer, as a ministry, talk about the climate adaptation and also the mitigation, as we're advocating for energy efficiency.
when we are efficient, when I was beginning, I talked about the benefits of being efficient. And one of them was climate change mitigation. We are safeguarding our country against the changes that may come out of inefficiently consuming the energy. Depletion of our forest cover is largely also associated with the consumption of the forest product for energy. We've seen how we have depleted the forests for charcoal production, for firewood. There are industries which depend intensely on firewood. But also our urban areas, they depend largely on charcoal. Now, when we are efficient, we are trying to safeguard ourselves against the depletion of the forest cover. The initiatives we are talking about, for example, adoption of clean cooking technologies, which include electric pressure cooker. When you use an electric pressure cooker, it means you are not going to need firewood or charcoal to cook. You only use electricity. When you use gas, you are not going to need charcoal or firewood. That means every time you use an alternative, you are supporting the environment to continuously recover. So energy efficiency gives us a chance to recover from the detrimental effects we have created due to energy consumption. Of course, we have been encouraging a number of consumers to plant more trees, but sometimes planting more trees and depleting more, sometimes they are not correlated. Sometimes you can deplete more than you are planting. So adoption of alternative efficient technologies to help our environment to recover, so that we go back to the original environmental conditions we used to experience a long time ago. I think we last had a lot of rainfall in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want to ask Daniel. We've seen many campaigns fail. How is this going to be a success?
Brian, I think ours is already a success because I said, maybe I didn't mention, but actually we are into inclusive markets for energy efficiency, project 2, because of the successes achieved under the inclusive markets for energy efficiency 1. This was a project initially under project 1 where we were looking at 11 districts, which this time round has been scaled up to go to 36 districts because of the realization of the objectives of this project. So we only hope to see even more funding coming in to allow us reach out more. Brian, I talked about the Market Development Fund, but also I would want to mention in terms of reach out for the project, that beyond those direct financial interventions, there is a component of applied research which is undertaken by our partners within the consortium of the College of Engineering and Department and Technology in Makerere University. This one is looking at the building environment. So we know that in terms of how we structure our buildings, the planning, the design can also be energy wasteful, or can also limit the light circulation within. So we want to be very direct in terms of guiding even on the buildings that we do, the materials that we use therein. So there's a lot more that is happening on the other side in terms of looking at research to come up with more efficient technologies therein. We are also looking at stakeholder engagements. We have the energy efficient energy acceleration network, where we have all stakeholders involved in the utilization of energy to be able to increase their awareness. The awareness, I cannot mention this enough in terms of we needing to have awareness on the effects of climate change, that they're actually real, and that until we adopt some of these efficient solutions, we may actually be doing more harm than good to ourselves. Specifically, also, we are looking at gender inclusion.
Okay.
Here, we know that women, youth, are part of the value chain in terms of utilization of the energy resources. We know that as a result of using firewood, you have health risks to this. So we are very deliberate in having what we are calling women ambassadors under the project. Women and youth ambassadors, where we are sensitizing this, creating more awareness, and then passing on the knowledge and information required to make this project more sustainable for future use as well.
Okay. Now, Engineer, let's talk about, as we are winding up, let's talk about policy and standards. Is UNBS on board? Because we need to see that our people don't end up with counterfeit, products, as in the work of advocating for energy efficiency. Our people should get things that are not counterfeit. So at what level is UNBS involved in this?
When we are working, we are working not in isolation, and we work with different stakeholders who are concerned. The Uganda National Bureau of Standards is a body that supports government to come up with standards and enforce them as well. And we have been working with the UNBS for a very long time to come up with minimum energy performance standards for different appliances. Right now, we have standards for appliances such as lighting appliances, air conditioners, fridges, refrigerators, motors, cooking appliances such as the pressure cookers, gas cookers. We have a number of standards, and we have worked with UNBS to come up with these minimum energy performance standards. The goal is to protect the market. No appliance, because these are minimum energy performance standards, have been developed and they are mandatory. Therefore, every appliance that is affected by any minimum energy performance standard is not allowed on market. And UNBS enforces these through programs such as the PIVOC program, whereby all products which are coming on Ugandan market are supposed to be tested, and they are tested. UNBS certifies that they are fit to come on Ugandan market, and they arrive on our market. And on a continuous basis, we've worked with UNBS to undertake surveillance, market surveillance, and most products which have been found not conforming to minimum energy performance standards are pulled off the market. So UNBS is supporting the ministry to achieve the goal of ensuring that there are minimum energy performance standards for energy using products. More products have been covered under the new Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. And we are still working with UNBS to develop minimum energy performance for those products as well.
Okay. Now, Daniel, what other policy are we seeing in the next 12 months?
I think in terms of policy, what engineer is talking about, we are trying to disseminate this
as we are winding
act to as many recipients, to Ugandans.
Yes.
And that is why, as a project now, we are happy to partner with the ministry to be able to advance this knowledge sharing and information sharing so that everyone gets to understand what the Act is about in terms of energy conservation,
Okay.
but also absolutely for the last mile to understand the importance of energy efficiency in relation to conserving even our own environment for our future generations.
Okay, okay. Now, Engineer, our time is fast spent. What are your final remarks to our viewers?
To our viewers, all we have to do is that we have to prepare. Let us make sure that we have the right capacity to ensure that we are conforming to the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. Let us come up with strategies, let us mobilize financing, and let us be ready to reduce energy, the energy we are putting into the different services we are offering. In the end, we are helping the country to achieve three things. Number one, reduce on the expenditure we are putting into energy consumption.
Okay.
Number two, we are saving the environment. And number three, we are helping ourselves to be energy secure, such that we are not affected by external markets when it comes to energy consumption or energy availability for our economy. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, our viewers. Thank you so much, Engineer from the Ministry of Energy. Thank you so much, Daniel from the PSFU, Uganda. And this has come to a very end. I have been Brian Tumwine Vyaruhanga with Good Morning Uganda Extra. We are going to be connecting to the Parliament. Uganda police officials are appearing before the PAC Committee of Parliament for queries in the financial year 2024-2025 audit report. We are crossing over to Parliament. Have a lovely morning and God bless Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information.